Hello, everyone. How are you? Great. Just wrapping up the video editing from yesterday. I'm going to generate some thumbnails and possibly try to record some other stuff today. And I need to go to the gym because I haven't been to the gym in 2 days now. The one on Saturday, I think. Yeah, one on Saturday, but I didn't go Sunday or Monday, so I've not been to the gym in 2 days. Slacking. All right. So let's finish this up and get this thing posted for today. Let's see, where are we? Form says if we do X, we stop being who we are. It's a contest well known to anyone who follows these kinds of online safety issues. Nice to see you, Kiska. Hope you're having a good day. These platforms are providing information, including unpopular information, and they serve as those library stacks, serving up fresh ideas in freedom that otherwise would lurk in the shadows, in forgotten books, forgotten byways, in back alleys of all kinds. But if you disagree, you tell me where we should draw the line. What page should be made to disappear? What editor can be trusted? And perhaps more importantly, draw the line. What page should be made to disappear? What editor can be trusted? Page should be made to disappear? And perhaps more importantly, what editor or what body should be trusted to make that decision? And 10 years from now, when the pendulum swings back, who can we trust to make that call again without any? And 10 years from now, when that decision. And 10 years from now, when the pendulum swings back, who can we trust to make that call again without any? Body to be trusted to make that decision. And 10 years from now, when the party that you like suddenly becomes related, and 10 years from now, what editor or what body should be trusted to make that decision? And 10 years from now, when the party that you like suddenly becomes replaced with the party you don't, how can we trust the system to make that call without any political incentive? The First Amendment is not a permissive document. Call without any political incentive. Without any political incentive. The First Amendment is not a permissive document. It doesn't suggest, it rightly commands. And it is the guardrail that keeps us from descending into totalitarian hell of state that can control the minds of its citizens. You should control the minds of its citizens. Control the minds of its citizens. No one should go asking Americans to ship software updates that takes that kind of free speech out and installs the cover. No one should be asking Americans. No one should go state that can control the minds of its citizens. No one should be asking Americans to ship software updates that takes that free speech out of a global reach platform and instead installs the very kind of speech that's prohibited to varying degrees in the UK and other countries. After all, the software we ship is already shipped with free speech installed. It's a good line. I've been on civil law, and I really hope it's shipped with free speech installed. But until next time, I've been on civil law, and I really hope you enjoyed this legal education content. Remember to keep it uncivil out there. Peace. All right, this is 11 minutes and it drags a little. It's almost 12 minutes. Let's see if we can cut this down. Let's see if we can get rid of some stuff. Drag this, make this shorter. Imagine awakening some morning in London and entering the terms Imagine awakening some morning in London and entering the terms vaccine mandate debate, or maybe Hunter Biden laptop into Wikipedia, only to find the site returning a message that says this page is unavailable in your country. Not because a court found it to be unconstitutional under UK law, not because it has been deemed to contain false statements, but because some government agency somewhere decided it might be a little too risky for the public to see. Now, unfortunately, this is not science fiction for the public to see. Too risky for the public to see. Public to see. Okay, here's the setup. The Online Safety Act is one of UK's newest inventions, and it gives Ofcom, a UK government communications regulator, sweeping power to make platforms do what they want about content. Among other things, the law says that Ofcom can demand the platforms assess their risks, force them to age gate, require them to have moderation systems at scale, and unleash any number of fines the platform might find crushing. The stated end of all this is, of course, as always, to protect the children and ensure that illegal stuff doesn't find its way onto platforms. But, of course, that raises the problem, what exactly is harmful, even to children? And I'm not sure that this act, or really any act, has a very clear answer to that problem. What it instead seems to be doing is expanding the boundaries of basically an agency that can define harmfulness for itself without any particular statutory mooring, and from the United States experience, we know just how well that can go. Now let's step into Wikipedia's role. Wikipedia serves a little bit like a library, edited by volunteers and marked by the way true freedom is sometimes messy. And you can see that in edited by volunteers and marked by the way a little bit like a library. A little bit like a library. And you can see that in the real-time editing in Wikipedia, edit wars, and of course you can debate the edits themselves. This act from the UK doesn't exempt the free online encyclopedia from all these new wonderful user service requirements. Rather, it treats it as a user-to-user service and treats it the same as any other service in this domain. And user-to-user services must now apparently have very clear rules. Now, Wikipedia, of course, has pushed back and pushed back publicly and hard. They say that identity checks and age gates would break how the site works. After all, the community relies not on knowing who is who, so that a resident in Chicago, a dissenting voice in Hong Kong, a school teacher in Manchester can all work together without risk to themselves. If you strip away the anonymity or pseudo-anonymity of it all, you don't just chill speech, you silence the voices of those most in danger. And when that regulator comes along and demands proactive measures for whatever it deems risky, the rational response of a business, and especially a nonprofit, is to remove those voices in a way that looks good and doesn't involve the word censorship. Some business, and especially a nonprofit, is to remove those voices in a way that looks good and doesn't involve the word censorship somehow. Now, of course, the Act's defenders and the UK government says fears about it all are, of course, grossly exaggerated. This is about the safety of the children, not political matters. They refer to various exceptions and codes of practice that are largely still being worked out. But of course, this is precisely what makes the situation problematic. Power is now being granted to these agencies to do whatever they want, and the details are to arrive later, hopefully for the good, but when was the last time the agency gave up power? Ask anyone who's lived through the eras when the legal mechanics here, of course, matter. Agency gave up power. Legal mechanics here, of course, matter. The American model, faults and all, starts with a clear line, the First Amendment. And unfortunately, the UK, and for that matter, most governments, don't really have anything like it. The US government cannot suppressly have anything like it. Have anything like it. The US government cannot suppress lawful speech based on viewpoint or topic, and speech-adjacent regulations face real scrutiny. Now, it is true that the First Amendment has carved out some narrow categories that aren't protected by the First Amendment, such as true threats, incitements, obscenity, but those categories have always been baked into the First Amendment from the start. They were never protected. And everything else is and has been protected by the First Amendment the whole time. The UK model is parliamentary supremacy married to by the First Amendment the whole time. The UK model is parliamentary supremacy married to a regulatory discretion. If you're a creator or an editor, this now flips the burden. You don't speak freely unless the code says you may. You speak at your peril unless a court says, all right, this is too far. But of course, at that point, the suppression of speech has already happened. And how many people will really be willing to take it to the line on what a court might say? But hold on, you might say. Protected by the First Amendment the whole time. But hold on, you might say. This law is from the UK, and I'm from Ohio, so I have nothing to worry about. But of course, it's not quite that simple, not in our interconnected world. Because, unfortunately, the rules of one country can become the rules of all by default, by market forces or other similar pressures. The UK might be smaller in terms of geography, population, economic power, but it's still a sufficient market that an American company would probably rather harmonize compliance than build one version of the product for Birmingham and another for Boston. The road of least resistance here for companies is often the road that leads to the lowest common denominator, the most censorship. That involves design moderation, age checks, and other filters for the strictest regime, such that your feed will be reduced to whatever the most extreme version of a foreign law that might pass. In practice, laws like the UK SAFE law that just passed can very quickly and very practically become more of a world default. It also for the strictest regime. It also has the possibility of seeping into our own judiciary. When something becomes an industry standard, plaintiffs can go to court insisting that it's now part of the duty of care. If a platform doesn't adopt these UK-style safety protocols after US-based businesses adopt them due to market pressures, plaintiffs might be able to go to court to say the failure to do so is now negligent under, for example, product liability law. In this kind of manner, the rules can get into the US courthouses without even a statute. And the line between public censorship and private brand safety can become increasingly indistinguishable. Of course, another layer is the value of messy transparency. On social networks, you often don't see the sausage being made, increasingly indistinguishable. Of course, another indistinguishable. On social networks, you often don't see the sausage being made. Algorithms bury, moderators delete, and only trust and safety sometimes knows why. But on Wikipedia, it's much more out in the open compared to most social platforms. After all, Wikipedia has histories, talk pages, and disputes with lengthy receipts. This transparency is a public good. The Online Safety Act, passed by the UK, could pressure quite the opposite: quiet removals to satisfy a compliance dashboard. After all, if the same information is now available just on the more hidden pages, that might not be good enough for the UK government. So let's tackle that kids' safety argument head on. It's all for the children, a classic refrain. Now, no one wants truly depraved information releasing to children. But of course, age verification isn't a magic wand. It's an invitation to come up with increasingly clever and secure ways to seem like you're 18 when you don't actually have that number. And then, of course, the government regulator trying to strike back with increasingly more severe measures to ensure it's real. So what comes next is probably not it's real. Be good enough for the UK government. So that might not be good enough for the UK government. So what comes next is probably not barely adequate measures, but a thickly narrative rounding error of identity tracking bundled into a nice intelligence UK government. So what comes next is probably not barely adequate measures, but a thickly narrative rounding error of identity tracking bundled into a nice intelligence gathering package for that government. And of course, other governments who share the data, including the US. So what should those in the US do about this law in the UK? Well, first of all, I would recommend not ignoring it. When speech that is lawful gets clobbered by regulatory big sticks, it doesn't stay put. Your favorite online writing, your little church service, your sheep herding business for all I know, they all operate in an increasingly global internet. Say what you want to about the American way, but we do have a very strong presumption of free speech, and rightly so. One that way too many people in way too many other countries would love to enjoy if they could, and we have to hold on to ours. Now, most people make a mistake about what freedom of speech is. They think that speech fights are over those whose voice can be the loudest on social media platforms, such as X. But often, that's not the point. Instead, they're often about the soft-spoken scholar who decided to stop writing, the editor who stopped hitting save, the immigrant who decided that reading certain pages might be too risky for them, now that every logon is sure to collect ID. Chilling effects are unpredictable, and they can work like a charm. So where does this leave Wikipedia in relation to that UK Online Safety Act? The two are now locked in an ever-familiar contest where neither side seems to be able to win. A government can say, do X or we'll block you. A platform says, if we do X, we stop being who we are. It's a contest well known to anyone who follows these kinds of online safety issues. These platforms are providing information, including issues. Platforms are providing information, including unpopular information, and they serve as those library stacks, serving up fresh ideas in freedom that otherwise would lurk in the shadows, in forgotten books, forgotten byways, in back alleys of all kinds. But if you disagree, you tell me where we should be issues. Well known to anyone who follows these kinds of all kinds. But if safety issues. But if you disagree, you tell me where we should draw the line. What page should be made to disappear?
It's 9:27 now.
More importantly, what
a little bit tighter,
or what body?
So we trimmed out what, like a minute and a half?
And 10 years from now, when the party that you like suddenly becomes replaced with the party you don't, how can we trust the system to make that call without any political incentive? The First Amendment is not a permissive document. It doesn't suggest, it rightly commands. And it is the guardrail that keeps us from descending into totalitarian hell of state that can control the minds of its citizens. No one should be asking Americans to ship software updates that takes that free speech out of a global reach platform and instead installs the very kind of speech that's prohibited to varying degrees in the UK and other countries. After all, the software we ship is already shipped with free speech installed. But until next time, I've been Uncivil Law.
Okay, it's not necessarily great, but it's serviceable. So I'm gonna rip it and post it. Move on to the next thing. See what we can do in terms of some thumbnails. Want me to work on one? Thumbnails? Nah, I got it. Yeah. Okay, this will be close enough for the purposes of creating a thumbnail. Okay. Hello. Hey, Brittany, how you doing? Thanks for the email the other day, by the way. That was nice of you. I don't think I responded to you directly, but I appreciated it. Thank you. We're just generating some thumbnail prompts right now and also tweaking the audio for posting. We're just finalizing now. It'll take a little bit to do all that, but that's what we're doing right now in case you're curious. The thumbnails take a little bit of time, but we've got a process for that. So it's all under control. We're close enough, right? All right. So what's next? Adobe. Run through Adobe to clean up the speech a little bit, make it a little bit more professional. Just run through a little bit of a soft builder or soft thing to make it sound just a little bit more, a little better. I think I'll actually dial it down to 30%. This is doing 35. I think I'll dial it down to 30. Keep it a little bit more natural as recorded. Trying to prove it up. Right. Let's see what we can do in terms. Thumbnail 1 is now being generated. Thumbnail 2 is now being generated. Thumbnail 3 is not being generated. There's the, no, just gotta wait for it to actually there. There we go. Now it's being generated. Great. So we got three thumbnails generating. How are we doing on the speech? It's still being uploaded and processing. We'll get that done in just a second. What happened? You'll be? Okay, we'll be here. Just taking a sweet ass time. Let's change this. I'm gonna take out the back. Don't need the background. I'm going to reduce this down to 30%, make it a little bit less processed. Download the revised audio. Great. Make sure I get back to the gym. I will. Yeah, I missed Sunday and Monday due to the car troubles on Sunday morning. But I'm back and have energy. I'm back in shape and really looking forward to going to the gym today. So I'm pretty fired up about it. Thank you for the encouragement. Got to get those gains, baby. I have a stretch goal of hitting a no, is it 315? Might be 315. Really, 315? Yeah, I think it might be. I have a stretch goal of hitting a 315 bench by my birthday. I have a lot of gains to make in order to make that happen. It's possible, but it's a stretch goal, but we're going to see what we can do. Actually, if I get over 300, that'll be pretty fantastic by itself. The 315 will be just bonus. We'll see what we can do. We got 5 months, almost exactly. We'll see what we can do. When's my birthday? 5 months from now. Mute this. Re-render it. In the upload folder. Render. Huh? And it's rendering. Let's see how we're doing on thumbnails. Okay, thumbnail 1's pretty good. All right, that works. How are we doing on thumbnail 2? Okay, thumbnail 2 is not bad either. I'm liking what we're seeing. Thumbnail 1 is good. Thumbnail 2 is good. Yeah, this is working. And you can upload like 3 thumbnails at once, for ABC testing. So why not? You know. So okay, let's go ahead and can I copy this image because we have to put it into Canva and convert it to JPEG because it's going to be too big. Yeah, that looks good. Not bad. Next. I like this one a little better. I'm going to take that one. This background. This background. That image's background. Yep, that looks great. Next. What else you got for me? I think I accidentally asked for the same thing twice. Oops. See if I did somewhere else. Okay, this is good. Which one do we like better? I'll take this one. It's got a very British aesthetic. All right, I'll take it. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm going back to Canva so that I can re-export it as JPEG. There's a size consideration. Yeah, the videos would be better with images and video clips. I'm working on that issue. Hopefully in the future. Upload these videos. Video. Okay. Load it. So we'll only be a half hour past time today. That's not so bad. I want to get out 12, but we're gonna hit 12:30. That's not so bad. All right, where am I looking? So I need to go to here, to here, to here, here. Then I go to here. Downloads. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Great. All right, got all 3 thumbnails. That's done. Fantastic. Now we just need to generate a title and description for it. Easy enough. Let's do that. Nate does do a good job of making his videos visually engaging. You're completely correct. I hope to adopt more of that style in the future. Go ahead and schedule this. I can't until I create the title. Just give me a second. Hello, Mandy. Welcome back. We got the thumbnails generated. We're just now generating the titles and descriptions, and then we'll post it for 12:30. So we're half hour late, and then we're going to get started on the next thing for the next day. So I'm not signing off, but want to see if I can get tomorrow's started. Maybe see if we can incorporate some of those visuals. I've tried a little bit with some of that stuff, but I definitely need to up my game more. Nate's been doing it longer though, so he knows what he's doing. Nate talks to me all the time though. He gives me lots of tips. He's a good guy. Yeah, it certainly is impressive how many Nate has that's backed over 1 million. Yeah. He's doing something really great. True. Yeah. My birthday's in 5 months. We were just talking about my weightlifting goals for my birthday. So it's not exactly close, but I was saying I want to hit certain goals by my birthday in 5 months. I was like, it's possible. It's a stretch goal, but it's possible. So we'll see what we can do. Yeah, it's not exactly around the corner, which is to my benefit for the purposes of me trying to reach my goals. Hold on, probably a spam call. Let's see what's going on. Hello. Okay, that was it. Hi, am I talking to this person? No. All right, thanks. Hey, Kiska, thanks for being a member for 18 months. It's been a while since anyone actually tried to scam me on the phone. It's been a while since anyone's like called me with like a car warranty thing or something like that. They don't seem to really do that anymore. I kind of miss it. Mm. I'll set it as an instant premiere Just premiere it now. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it as a schedule. Yeah, I'll do it today. 12:30. It's 6 months from now. Cool. Great. So we got 3 thumbnails running. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on tomorrow. I'm not sure, at least not sure that this was necessarily the winner of all winners. So let's try pick ourselves up and start over again, as the song said. Yeah, good times. All right. Your premium expires in 24 hours. Okay. I was supposed to do this automatically, did it? It did not. Oh well. It was worth a shot. Doesn't really matter. Sing, sing a song, make it simple. Sing a song. Oh, Team Brittany, I hope you feel better. Can I do anything to help? Can I give you a virtual hug / cupcake of any kind? Let me see if I can find a little cupcake I can give you. Uh, there's one. There you go. There's a cupcake for you. Hope it makes you feel a little bit better. While I'm waiting for this, I can check some mail too. I'll do something productive with my time. Let's see what we got. I hate checking physical mail. I want to do a Kramer and go to the post office and cancel my mail. Cancel it. And I took care of that issue already, so I don't need that. What? This bill or a statement that I don't care about. What's next? This is my Alda account, which I don't care about. Also a healthcare thing that I don't. This is a credit card statement. I don't need that. This is some health or wellness prevention information from my insurance provider. Okay, let's see what generic bullshit this is. Oh, okay. They want to offer me an in-home health assessment. I don't know how to feel about this. During the visit, the licensed healthcare professional will talk to you one-to-one in the comfort and privacy of your home. Licensed healthcare expert will review your medical history, do a brief exam, and any questions you may have. This person's been certified by the state. To do what? Taking part in the program does not affect your health rate or coverage. I'm going to look into more about what that bullshit is before I sign up for that, because that sounds a little sketchy. For my healthcare provider, I'd like to know exactly what it is they're trying to sell me on. I have more spending power. Oh, that's exciting. Apparently, my credit limit increased, which is nice because I'm just about to cancel my accounts with Bank of America because I don't like them anymore. As soon as I have some time to run to the bank and change all my accounts over. Apparently, my credit limit just increased on my business card. Exciting. State Bar of Texas. What do you want? What do you want? I paid dues. And CLE isn't due yet. So what do you want? Do next month. You would like me to get long-term disability insurance, apparently. No, that's okay. Thanks anyway. Bye. All right, what's next? And this is just a student loan statement, which I don't need to know because I pay them and I still owe them money. And that's all I really need to know for the purposes of this exercise. Okay. All right, let's ask Grok what exactly this bullshit is, because this sounds like some bullshit. Okay. The voluntary program is at no cost to you. Uh-huh. Are you sure about that? Hmm. It also says taking part of the program does not affect your health care rates or coverage. Uh-huh. Are you sure about that? I don't know, man. They say it's a licensed healthcare expert. Will review my medical history, do an exam, and answer any questions. They don't actually say it's a doctor, just a licensed healthcare expert. What the hell is that? I think I'm being scammed by my own health insurance company right now. That's what I think is going on. Oh, no, it's being offered by Signify Health. There's a little footnote. Uh-huh. Okay. The Grok says the following: the in-home health assessment offered by your insurance company is legitimate optional services, primarily aimed at Medicare Advantage members. Though it may also apply to retiree groups or other eligible coverage. It's not a scam, but it's essentially a supplemental preventive checkup and contracted through Signify Health. The licensed provider in your letter refers to a credentialed clinician, which could be a nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, or medical doctor, not necessarily a doctor. The assessment is a 40 to 60-minute home visit or telehealth. Perform a clothed physical exam, review medical history, screen for issues, assess home safety, discuss personal social history, including substance use, provide recommendation. Get a one-page summary. With your permission, a full report can be shared with your primary care physician. Physician is a bonus to catch issues early and give you more time. I see my doctor every month as it is. These assessments are common across insurers and are often being criticized for being more beneficial to the insurance company. No. The main goal for the insurer is to risk adjustment, documenting conditions support higher reimbursements to Medicare, who can involve upcoding. Critics argue it's duplicative annual wellness exams. User experience, pushy outreach, mixed quality, incentives sometimes offered. Sometimes they dangle a gift card. Provider side gripes, clinicians poor scheduling, low pay, and feeling visits are useless. That's okay. I think I'm just going to take a pass on that one, Blue Cross Blue Shield. I think I'm good. Thanks. Bye. Okay, that was fun and exciting. Thanks for that exciting information. Great. Moving on. Yeah, right. I mean, I already see my doctor once a month as is. Like, what could this person possibly provide me of any value as opposed to my doctor who sees me once a month as it is? Like, what could you possibly give me? Nothing. You have you have nothing of value to offer me. I don't need you. Thanks. Oh Lord. Have I had Eeyore on my shelf? A very long time. Yes, I've had Eeyore. You just now noticed him. Those observation skills, man. Yeah. I'm wearing the hat a lot, so maybe that's why. It's okay. I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I recently started taking the hair loss medication, oral tablets, like a week ago. So hopefully that will help with my hairline issues because I'm beginning to feel a little self-conscious. Doctor said 3 months to see any results, 12 years to really see meaningful results. I'm like, well, and as when my doctor said that, I was like, well, you know what they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So how about we start today? My doctor left. So we're doing that. My doctor and I have a very interesting chemistry. We have this kind of like playful mutual loathing thing going on. It's very interesting. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm not sure she is, but we're having an interesting relationship. It's for sure. Yeah. Ah, Lord. Turn around every now and then I get a little things. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba. Mm-hmm. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-ba-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Boom, 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 boom. Totally eclipse the sun. Also, I need to make dinner at some point. I wonder if I could like somehow rig my camera phone so I could like stream inside this so I could do like cooking with Kurt while I'm doing this. Because then I could accomplish many objectives at once. Hmm. I don't know how that's supposed to work in principle. But now would be a really good time to get this started so it'll be ready for dinner. I suppose I could stop the stream and start a new stream with cooking with Kurt and then bring the stream back. That would be a logical way to solve this problem. All right, let's do that. Let's stop the stream and I'll just start a new stream, cooking with Kurt, and it will solve the problem. Great. Yeah. So let's do that. All right, guys. I will see you in a minute. Later.